especially if they're a super sensitive, and you all know the super sensitives. You approach somebody, all you're giving them is feedback, and all of a sudden,
now she is acting like my wife.
how about whiners and complainers? Anybody in here know anybody like that? If you know of someone like that, when somebody comes to you and they're always complaining and whining about how much work they have to do and how overloaded they are, what is their positive intention? They're often looking for sympathy or empathy. Some of you are saying, or to get you to assign the work to somebody else. So that's their positive intention. They may or may not have low self-esteem, but they're wanting that empathy. The blamers are the people who are always blaming everything. Everything's always being blamed on outside circumstances, or it's always somebody else's fault. The blamers are the people who have a sign on their desk, but it says, "The buck never stops here." Oh, by the way, let me say this. As I'm mentioning the gossip and the blamer and the whiner complainer, I'm noticing that a lot of you are taking notes. Whatever you do, don't write anybody's name next to. Don't write anybody's name next to any of those descriptions, because that's the kind of documentation you don't want to have floating around your office. As I'm talking about the gossips and the whiners and the complainers, the blamers, the attitude employee, is this anybody that any of you can relate to? Maybe some of you supervise a person like this, or who knows, maybe you live with somebody like this. Maybe for some of you, they're all those people rolled into one. Who here knows any difficult people? Raise your hands. All right, good. You're all in the right place. Who here works or has ever worked with a difficult person? Raise your hands. All right. Now, what we're talking about applies to your personal life as well. Who here lives or has ever lived with a difficult person? Any of you? All right. If any of you didn't raise your hands to any of those questions, you're probably not getting out enough. All right, one last thing. I'd like you all to take a pledge. Everybody raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. On my honor, I promise, when dealing with a difficult person, that I will first bite my tongue and count to 10. Because if I don't, I may say something that I will live to regret. Thank you. Thanks so much.